A snapshot from Mars has rocked the scientific world, changing the way we think about the red planet.
Jezero Crater is a really cool place to go to look for evidence of past life.
The Mars rover has just found something that could change everything. Real signs that life might have existed on Mars. Scientists have searched endlessly, sending rovers and machines across Mars, hoping for a hint of life. What could it mean for the future of space exploration? Let us dive into this mind-blowing discovery that will reshape how we look at ourselves in the vast universe. A desert hiding its watery past. Let's take a step back, though. Why do we care so much about this dusty, barren wasteland of a planet? Maybe it's because Earth is so alive with its oceans and forests and millions of species running around. The red planet, by comparison, looks like the post-apocalypse. All deserts, canyons, and depressing shades of red. But here's the thing, it wasn't always like that. Scientists have long believed that Mars might have had water, and if there was water, there might have been life, like even just slimy little microbes. It's as if we're hoping this place could show us that life isn't as rare as we think. Before we delve into this, it's clear that Mars may hold even more things than anyone ever expected. And this discovery is only the beginning of what will truly shock us. And let's be real here. The idea that this planet might have once been a livable place gives us all kinds of implications to think about. If it had what it took for life to survive, maybe we can learn something to help us understand how Earth's ecosystem works too. Earth and its neighbor probably started off kind of similar, and it's downright eerie to wonder how Earth stayed beautiful and blue while the red planet turned into a deserted wasteland. Some lessons to be learned there, maybe. Fast forward to NASA's latest toy, the Perseverance rover, launched in July 2020. After much hype, it finally landed in Jezero Crater in February 2021, ready to do what it does best: search for life. This thing's got all sorts of high-tech gear that previous rovers could only dream of, capable of examining rocks and soil up close. Like, really up close. The mission? To sniff out signs of past life, the kind that would barely have made it onto a microscope slide back on Earth. But why Jezero Crater? As it turns out, scientists think this place may have been home to a massive lake and river delta around 3.2 billion years ago. That's prime real estate for microbes if you ask any biologist. Basically, the kind of place you'd expect life to form if the conditions were right. Rivers, lakes, mud, all that gunk. That's where you get microscopic creatures preserved in layers of sediment. The idea is that if there was life, you'd probably find it in that dried up lake. And wouldn't you know it, Perseverance's first big breakthrough came when it detected organic molecules in these Martian rocks. These molecules are the building blocks of life on Earth. But they're kind of ambiguous. They could be signs of life, but they could also be from something completely non-living. It's like finding a half-buried footprint in the sand and thinking, okay, someone could have walked here. Or it could just be a weird shape. Still, it's something. It's a sign that there was some interesting chemistry going on in this place, and maybe it wasn't all just rock and dust. Here's where things get a bit more interesting. The organic molecules Perseverance found? They're not just simple, they're a bit complex, suggesting that something cool might have happened a long time ago. The molecules were in sedimentary rocks, the kind of rocks that are great at trapping ancient stuff like fossils. Imagine a mud pit that dried up and became fossilized. If there were tiny critters in there, they'd be preserved. Same thing here. Maybe microbes were once trapped in these rocks, and now we're just starting to dig up their remains. And while organic molecules alone don't scream life was here, they're certainly a solid clue, especially when combined with evidence of ancient water. There have been plenty of signs of water over the millennia. Ancient riverbeds, salty minerals, underground ice. The ancient lakebed of Jezero Crater could have been a small paradise for microbes. No big deal, just a possible oasis on an otherwise dry planet. Perseverance also found clay and sulfate salts, both of which form in water and love to trap organic matter. On Earth, these places are literally a goldmine for microbial life. It's as if everything here hints at a past much wetter, and perhaps a little wilder than we ever imagined. As time goes on, the idea that Mars may have hidden traces of life becomes clearer, leading us to discover what Perseverance has found in the rocks and soil. Hunting for fossils in Martian rocks? The most exciting part for scientists, Perseverance might actually find tiny fossils of microbes. Yes, fossils. It's pretty wild when you think about it. This planet today is cold, dry, and frankly miserable for life, but billions of years ago it could have been very different. The water, the organic molecules, the lake sediments, it all adds up to the idea that teeny tiny creatures might have lived here. If that's true, they're probably long dead, leaving only fossilized remains, which is what Perseverance is looking for. And for that, Perseverance has some pretty fancy tools. One of them, called Sherlock, uses laser technology because why not? To hunt down complex organic compounds in rocks. Imagine a little CSI scene, lasers and all. Sherlock uses ultraviolet light to detect even the tiniest changes in rock chemistry, looking for signs of fossils. Early results are promising, but of course the scientists are still knee-deep in analysis. It's a lot of guesswork at this stage, but all the pieces seem to be pointing in the right direction. But here's the burning question. If this place had all this potential for life, what the hell happened to it? It wasn't always a frozen wasteland. Over time, it lost its atmosphere. Unlike Earth, this place no longer has a magnetic field. Without one, its atmosphere was stripped away by the solar winds. Basically, charged particles from the sun blasted it apart. Without an atmosphere, water here either froze or evaporated. The planet became an icy desert where temperatures plummeted, making it impossible for any form of life to exist. Perseverance is giving us more pieces of the story by analyzing ancient rocks. Weathered over billions of years, these rocks hold clues to how the environment changed from watery to barren. By studying their chemistry, scientists are learning how the climate changed and what caused it. The ultimate goal is to piece together the how and why behind the transformation. And maybe, just maybe, understand how our blue planet avoided a similar fate. Perseverance's discoveries are monumental for another reason. If there was life here, even a tiny hint, it means that life may not be so special. The red planet is our cosmic neighbor, and if it had microbes, why not other planets? Suddenly, the universe looks a lot less lonely and a lot more populated. This means that Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, or Enceladus, one of Saturn's moons, could also have life under their icy shells. Suddenly, the search for extraterrestrial life looks a lot more promising, a lot less like a crazy dream. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We don't have aliens yet. Perseverance's discoveries are exciting, but we're a long way from definitive proof. To really settle the question, we need samples back here on Earth, and where scientists can do all sorts of tests that no rover could do. Perseverance has been collecting rocks, sealing them in tubes and leaving them on the surface for a future mission to bring back. Getting our hands on these samples could change everything. We could finally confirm whether this world was once alive. Naturally, the public is very excited about this. As soon as Perseverance started sending photos back, people were hooked. The desolate beauty of this place is strangely compelling. Add to that the possibility that we might not be alone, that there were tiny creatures here billions of years ago, and the excitement goes through the roof. It's not just scientists who are excited. The whole world is paying attention. Kids are talking about being astronauts again, and social media is buzzing with each new update. But it's not just about the past. If Mars had life before, maybe it can again. As space agencies talk about putting humans on Mars, knowing its history could be crucial. The idea of humans settling on Mars has gone from science fiction to maybe possible. Imagine what it would be like, a whole new world to live in. Knowing what happened to Mars's water and atmosphere could help us work out how to protect our own fragile Earth. Digging deeper, Mars offers clues to its ancient past, showing us how much more there is to learn about the changes it has undergone over time. The rise of a planet. If Mars had life, it means that life is rare and precious. It's a reminder that we need to protect what we have here on Earth. Knowing that life could have existed somewhere else only to be wiped out should make us appreciate how lucky we are. The red planet's past is a cautionary tale for us Earthlings. Don't take things for granted or you could end up a barren, dusty rock floating in space. And remember, the Mars rover's findings aren't just for science nerds, they're for everyone. It's about humanity getting closer to answering that age-old question. Are we alone? It's also about a dose of humility. We may think we're hot stuff, but the universe is big and our understanding of it tiny. Every time Perseverance sends back new data, it's another piece of the puzzle, another step towards possibly redefining everything we know about life. Mars could be hiding some big things, things that could change the way we see our own existence. This rover mission is just one chapter in a much bigger story, one that's going to take years, maybe decades, to fully unfold. It's a reminder that our story is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. With every discovery, we're peeling back the layers of Mars and maybe, just maybe, we'll find something that will blow our minds. Ultimately, the rover's findings leave us with one big question. If Mars once supported life, what about all the other worlds we've yet to explore? What might we find if we keep looking beyond our own horizons? It's this sense of exploration that drives us on, an insatiable curiosity about the universe and our place in it. And when we look up at that red dot in the sky, we can't help but wonder, how close are we to discovering that we're not alone? It's a story in the making, and there's much more Mars has yet to reveal. We're ready to listen, it's just a matter of time. Mars is now a dusty desert, but there is evidence that it once had rivers and lakes. Millions of years ago, the Martian landscape was probably a world of water and warmth. Perseverance's mission, equipped with the most advanced tools mankind has devised, is our latest attempt to find evidence of those ancient times. The fact that we are looking at signs of something long gone, organic molecules hidden in sedimentary rocks, is mind-boggling. There is a real chance that tiny life forms once swam or floated in the waters of Mars, thriving in the very lake beds we are now probing. The complexity of organic molecules is a good clue. They're not just simple atoms floating around. They're more complicated, complex enough to give scientists hope that they might be linked to something biological. The trick, of course, is that nature can be sneaky. It can produce organic compounds even in lifeless places. There's a very fine line between chemistry that suggests a biological origin and chemistry that's just chemistry. That's why everyone takes it one step at a time. For every exciting discovery, there's also a lot of caution. That's why Perseverance's job is less about shouting, "We've got aliens," and more about steadily gathering a mountain of clues that all point in the same direction. And that's not all. You have to remember that Jezero Crater was chosen specifically because of its past. Scientists wanted to land somewhere they thought would be rich in evidence, somewhere that could have really been a habitable Martian paradise. Imagine standing in Jezero Crater billions of years ago. There would have been water rushing through the river delta, pooling in the lake, carrying silt and nutrients that could have supported all kinds of microbial life. This wasn't just any old puddle, it was a dynamic ecosystem known on Earth to be teeming with microscopic life. Perseverance isn't just drilling and zapping rocks for fun. It's about focusing on areas that geologists believe would be perfect for trapping and preserving signs of life. If tiny creatures lived here, the idea is that their remains would have been trapped in the sediment, preserved for billions of years. These fossils, if they exist, would be microscopic, but their discovery would be groundbreaking, and the first clues are pointing in that direction. These organic molecules that Perseverance has found could very well be the remains of something that was once alive. By searching for signs of life, Mars is beginning to become more than a scientific mission, offering a glimpse of what might happen to other worlds like our own, and bringing Mars' past back to Earth. What's fascinating is that it's not just about finding evidence of life, it's also about understanding the environment itself. What was Mars like back then? Perseverance's instruments aren't just identifying organic compounds, they're also helping to understand the geochemical environment. Things like temperature, minerals, and radiation exposure. Understanding these environmental factors is crucial because it helps scientists understand whether the conditions were right for life. The Perseverance mission is not just another space mission. It is part of a larger effort to bring samples from Mars back to Earth. It's a huge task, because analyzing these samples on Earth will give us a much deeper insight into what exactly we're dealing with. All the tools on Perseverance are impressive, but there are limits to what a rover can do on another planet. Laboratories on Earth are equipped with incredibly sophisticated technology, far more advanced than anything a rover could carry, which can be used to analyze Martian rocks at a level that's simply not possible on Mars. Scientists are optimistic that these samples could contain fossilized microbes, which would provide definitive evidence of past life. It's the hope of finding life on another planet that continues to drive these missions. Imagine if we confirmed that Mars did indeed once have life. What would that mean for us? For one thing, it would mean that life is not unique to Earth. It would mean that, given the right conditions, life could develop almost anywhere in the universe. Mars is the closest place we have to test this theory. If we find life, even simple microbial life, it means that the universe is probably teeming with life, just waiting to be discovered. Looking further into the future, humans could set foot on Mars. If Mars was once habitable, there may still be ways to make it habitable again. The data that Perseverance collects will be crucial for future human exploration. Understanding how Mars lost its water and atmosphere could help us develop technologies to adapt to the Martian environment, or even reverse some of these changes. The possibility of humans living on Mars, even in small numbers, is becoming increasingly plausible. Mars is like a beacon in the sky, beckoning us with tales of what once was and what could be. This distant red world tantalizes us with hints that it may once have had water, a thicker atmosphere, and perhaps even life. These clues fill us with excitement about the vast unknowns that await us out there. They fuel our dreams of extending human presence far beyond Earth, and show us the cosmic potential of human exploration and settlement. But Mars also stands as a stark reminder, a kind of space-bound scarecrow, warning us of the fragility of planetary environments. It tells a chilling story of a world that may have been very much like ours, but has since turned into a cold, barren desert. This dramatic change whispers a warning to us all. Take care of Earth, our home, because even the most Earth-like planets can become lifeless spheres if left unprotected. The Perseverance rover is more than a robot as it traverses the rugged terrain of Mars. It is our scout into a deep past. With every piece of soil it analyses and every rock it photographs, Perseverance is piecing together a long-lost chapter of our solar system's history. It is searching for signs of ancient water and life, gathering fragments of Martian history that may reveal how a once vibrant planet became a barren land. As we receive these data from millions of miles away, they do more than deepen our understanding of Mars. They also fan the flames of a timeless question. Are we really alone in this vast universe? The search for the answer drives our space explorers to go further and look deeper into the cosmos. Mars, with all its questions unfolding bit by bit, not only holds answers to its past but also hints at our future in space. With continued exploration, fueled by our curiosity and strengthened by our determination, we are on the cusp of potentially groundbreaking discoveries. Could this discovery on Mars mean we're not alone, or is it just a coincidence? Tell us what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.